A common feature used on the Express console is the effect package. What we mean by effects is essentially a chase, where you want a group of lights kind of just running in a loop, like light bulbs around a sign, or a red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue on your stage, or something like that. So let's talk about how to create those types of chases on the Express console. Now, an effect can be a type of cue, or it can also be a type of submaster. The way you create them is exactly the same in both cases. It's just a matter of where you actually store it. So I'm going to start by creating an effect in a cue. To create the effect, this is something that's done in blind. So I'm going to go into my blind display. Then I want to decide what cue I'm going to have my effect in. In this case, I'm going to take cue 15 because it happens to be available. And what I'm looking at here is just an empty cue. There's no channel information. It says not recorded. There's nothing there. But my command prompt, if you notice, it says select cue number. To select the cue type, press type. Well, the type key is here in my record target keypad. It's one down and over to the left from the cue button. So I'm going to go ahead and press type. And my command prompt will tell me that there are many different types of cues that I can have, but for today's lesson we're going to be focusing on effect, which is type 3. So I'm going to go ahead and hit 3. And now my display is going to change. It's going to look completely different than one that we're used to, say, in the live or the blind display, because I don't see channels anymore. What I see now is like a table view that represents the effect visually. And what an effect actually is a series of steps that run in sequence from 1, 2, 3, 4, and in case of a 5-step effect, it goes to 5, and then it loops back to 1, and it just continues running in that loop. So what I have to do is I have to create the steps, then I have to put things in those steps. So to create the steps, the first thing the console is asking me to do is say select step numbers. Well, we want to do a 5-step effect, so I'm going to say 1 through 5, enter. And the console will now give me 5 steps, and then it will move into this area here, which is the channel area, because my step column here has been filled in for me automatically. And my command prompt now says select channel numbers and press add channels to add them to the steps. Well, let's just do channels 1 through 5. Since I have 5-step effect, let's do 1 through 5. So I hit channel 1 through 5. And now it says to press add channels. This is a soft key. Add channels is soft key 8 at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and press S8 on my keypad. And now what I've done is I've added the 5 channels in order. So channel 1 is at step 1, and channel 2 is at step 2, and so on and so forth, all the way up to 5. Now I haven't saved anything yet, and of course you're reminded of that fact because we have a not recorded that's flashing here. So the first thing I want to do before I leave this and to see what my effect is doing, I want to record and enter. And now this is cue 15. So I can now go back out to my stage display. And I can say cue 15, and I can press go on my fader pair, and I can see that I just have step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running in order, and it's just going to keep looping as long as that cue is running. There are other things I can do, like change the timing of that, and that is also done in blind, so I'm going to stop that effect from running. I'm going to go into blind, and it should go back to the last cue that I was working in, but it didn't. If it didn't, I can press cue 15, enter, and get back into my cue, my effect. And now I want to select all of the steps again. So it says select step numbers, 1 through 5, enter. So now I've got those 5 steps selected, and now I can use my arrow keys here on the keypad to move through my columns. And I'm going to push the arrow key to the right until I am in this column called time. What this column represents is how long it takes to go from step to step to step to step to step. 0.2 of a second was the default. I'm going to change that to 1 second. Now I changed it to 1 second, but again, the minute I make a change, it says not recorded. So I have to remember to hit record, enter. And now I can go back out to the stage display to see what 1 second looks like on the chase. So I say cue 15, go. And now it's exactly the same effect, but running considerably slower. There are a few other changes I can make to these effects. So I'm going to go back to that effect in blind. This time I want to affect some of the effects attributes. So under more soft keys, which again is a soft key, S7, I press it once, and I can go to S8, which is called attribute. And there are various types of attributes that I can do here. It's a negative alternate. I can reverse it. I can bounce between 1 and 5. It's best just to try all of these out on your effect and see what they do, because it may suit your purposes depending on what you need. But I'm going to show you random, for instance. So I'm going to hit soft key 6. My attributes will display up here. It's telling me that it's running in positive mode, random. And now I can go back out to my stage display, and I can run that cue again, and you'll see that instead of going in order from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's picking the steps at random, and I'm getting kind of a nice random chase of those lights. So effects are a lot of fun. I would encourage you to try out the different attributes, try out some different timing parameters, but that is, in general, the way to create basic chase effects on the Express console.